off with Magoha. I know you guys all saw this story. Now, Muslim leaders and clerics have now called for the sacking of Education Cabinet Secretary George Magoha over his remarks against an NTV journalist. Now, in a video that has since gone viral, Magoha had asked a Muslim journalist to identify herself before he could answer her questions, thinking that, you know, she could be from Al-Shabaab. In case you haven't watched it, here it is.
The government of the Republic of Kenya. Kwanza wewe unatoka wapi? Who are you representing? Because if you are representing Al-Shabaab, I will not answer you. Which TV station?
NTV.
NTV. Yes, NTV is a good station, so I will answer you.
All right, so let me start off with Anto. Anto, I know you had seen this video. I heard you talking about it on your show.
I mean, it's cringe-worthy. It makes you cringe, but in the interest of TTTT, since Magoha likes to throw shade, and he's the Minister, CS of Education, I can say, Akili Ninywele. And from the clip, you can see Magoha Hanazake. So, I mean, to be honest, he's going away with so much and this kind of stuff. And it's so wrong that he thinks or he thought he could get away with it. And what's worse is people who laughed around him. You know? I found that so cringy. Like, there were people who you think are supposed to be learned, you know, professional, who are laughing at the fact that he said that.
In the moment, you know what I mean? It's like if our boss here cracks a joke, even if it's not funny, in the awkward environment, you are going to find yourself giggling and then later on questioning why you found that funny, because it wasn't funny. Yeah,
but the issue is that people shouldn't even put themselves in a situation where they have to make people have to question why they did something.
Yeah.
Because if for someone like him, he knows the power that he has when he does that. It's a very, don't just look at it as Magoha had a moment. It's also a power thing. He knew he could tell that to have not only just a Muslim, but also a Muslim lady and get away with it. Even for the apology, and I don't want to get into the apology thing, but even when you look at the apology, when you look at the photo op, Rukia looks like she's still again in the background. Magoha is seated there comfortably. Where is he seated down? She should be the one who's seated down. And if you disrespect me in the public, you must apologize in the public. Yeah. So we're also now again sanitizing him because it's Magoha. But he's shown over and over that he might be learned, but to be honest, sometimes he's got very ignorant comments.
Well, I mean, they do say that, you know, the apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you.
And also, this is the second time NTV is getting profiled. Remember the first time?
Wait, was it Kalonzo Musyoka?
Yeah, the first time was your name was betraying you. It was still NTV, This time again, it's a good thing that he approved that it's a good station. He answered eventually. I think it was a bad joke. Have you ever made those jokes where in your head it sounded better and then when it comes out you're like later when you look at it and you review it you're like wow. I shouldn't have said that.
Maybe it wasn't as funny.
It's like you are unaambia mtu ati unakumbuka sisi tukiwa watoi venye mother alikuwa na come home, then you realize you're talking to an orphan and then you're like it was
let me just
let me just so I think it was a bad joke. I just think still that he's not been remorseful enough. And I think it also has been a pattern through this government that, you know, the officials have been, you know, coming out very aggressive in how they address their peers, their juniors, and other people around them. How they address, you know, people like the journalists, people like in their departments. Because you remember the other time when he was stripping down a head teacher. And it was still in the news. And nothing was done about that. So just the fact that someone believes that they can talk down at you like that, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Especially a CS, right? And to assume.
And then we are not in a country where you get, you know, to be held accountable for what you say.
I think these people need to be given very little airtime. I think that the CSAs and that's where all this power comes from. And you see most CSAs want to be governors after because they use this sort of media to profile themselves and get into power after. So they will do anything to be in the news. They will say anything. They will get away with it. But I think Magoha needs to apologize to Rukia publicly. He actually refused. He was like, I'm not going to apologize publicly.
And you know, it's like when if you guys ever follow the Black Lives Matter movement, you'd see how there's so many old white people who don't understand where the problem is. Where is the issue? Where is the issue? Violetta, I know you saw the video.
Of course I did, and it was so shocking, especially coming from an education cabinet secretary. He should know better that people, regardless of your ethnic community, your tribe, your religion, do go to school, study courses here and there, and they become journalists or whatever. So he should not at any one point think it's okay to make such a comment, not thinking about these are the things that people study and this is what they become. So I feel like his position of power, that is absolutely wrong. There has to be repercussions for it. And the way we were talking about people who laughed, you know, you've become an enabler in that particular moment, because it's not coming from you, I get it, but think about it and don't laugh, because at that particular point you have encouraged their behavior. And Al-Shabaab is not something we should joke about.
I think, and you know, really, Ngina, it's a thing of it's less about Rukia, she was the one who was offended, and more about what it means. What it means. Profiling is not a thing that only happens. So it means, at least this one was captured on camera. There are so many others with police officers or people in authority who are walking around randomly, profiling people in their estates. Umepatikana na madredi, you are now... I remember the guy, Ricky from Wanavokali, when he was profiled. And
because of dreadlocks,
because of his
But also, I mean, I think about...
Do you know how many guests could not make it to the show because of that same thing?
I remember the greatest chronics.
Tumeshikwa because of dreadlocks.
I remember the greatest chronics was here facing an issue.
Imagine in the Ministry of Education that a teacher, for example, wants to be, probably goes to meet him and wants to be promoted, or in the ministry, because that's probably a culture that he has, and he sort of put it down on the people. Imagine a student who needs a bursary. Imagine a Muslim, all Muslim school or Muslim girls school, and imagine the amount of madarau they will receive because of the person at the top sort of sees them that way. And by the way, it probably shows that he's made this joke before with other people.
Because of how
I think the worst part is he chose to answer the question after saying NTV is a good station, I'll answer. So you have discredited the fact that this is a fully trained journalist. So I'm going to answer because of where you come from. Oh, we're happy, NTV is good, we're here.
But we also, I think people we shouldn't even hang on to the coattails of Magoha about NTV being good. We don't need Magoha's validation. We're NTV, we don't need validation.
We know.
That's a thing we do.
If there was no NTV, there'd be no Magoha, because we are giving you too much airtime. In fact, now it's a wrap.
We're the ones giving him a platform. That's what saying. I love it. How do you feel? If you're a Muslim watching this show, we're going to read some of the comments at the Trend Live. The hashtag is TT. How did you feel when you watched that video that has been circulating on the social webs? When we get back, we have to talk about Hussein Mohammed. Now, I know he never made much noise when he was on TV, but clearly now working with India now, there are things that are happening. Plus, we have to talk about public toilets and the new feature that they have introduced. Don't go